All right. Hello there. This is Danny Ray Crum Jr. with Psych Monkey over there, looking over my shoulder. Um, this is going to be the companion video, the last in a series of training videos to the 3 E's and the 3 Hallmarks. So this is going to be called the 3 interventions, to manage trauma stress. Put those 3 videos together with the 3 E's. Remember, we talked about identifying stress levels. Are they within your typical functioning range? Are they becoming problematic, or have they reached that traumatic level? And then with the 3 Hallmarks, we talked about recognizing and understanding the type, the origin, the impact of that stress that you're experiencing. So with the 3 interventions, we're going to talk about the must-haves, the must-dos to manage the trauma stress or the potentially trauma-related stress. Okay, so with that, let's jump into it. You'll possibly remember that I always like these cutesy little acronyms. They're helpful memory tools. They're a little bit easier to remember the whole video. So with the 3 E's, it was just that, 3 E's. With the 3 Hallmarks, remember we had Cousin Iab, okay? And we pretended that that was the cousin to Captain Ahab in Moby Dick. Of course, Cousin Iab was a made-up characterization just for the training video. With the 3 interventions, those of you who are old enough to remember the acronym MSG, that was some food substitute. I don't know, something in the food, mono something glucose, mono something glycerine. I don't know, but it was bad for you. And I seem to recall that it was connected to hot dogs, especially. Well, we're going to make MSG a good thing. Okay, so for us, MSG is going to stand for My Simple Guide. So when you're wondering, well, what do I do about this stress? Even if it's in that normal range for you, what do I do about this stress? Well, you always follow My Simple Guide, but in this case, it's Your Simple Guide. And the same letters that begin the words My Simple Guide are also the acronym MSG for, okay, what is My Simple Guide? What are the interventions? M stands for mindfulness, S stands for support network, and G stands for goals, goals, whatever. Try and have more than one people, okay? So anyway, let's just jump right into it. What is mindfulness? Well, for those of you out there who are psych geeks or just plain well informed, mindfulness is simply awareness, which you probably know. Mindfulness is awareness of self, surroundings, situation, that kind of stuff, okay? See, there we did the 3 S's that time. Mindfulness is focus to the point that, yeah, you're aware of the extraneous stimuli, but you can still stay on task. Mindfulness is the thing, the act, the ability that helps me filter, buffer, protect myself from external stimuli that may be negative or potentially negative, such as this pandemic and me not being an infectious disease expert or understanding, nor could I possibly control a novel virus. Mindfulness helps me buffer so that I don't worry about what I can't control, but rather I stay in the here and now and focus on what I can control, which is washing my hands. Try not to touch my face too much. I'm one of those people, but wearing my mask when I go out, so that when I start to feel a little more stress or anxiety, I've got my plan in my head. I've got my awareness that, hey, wait a minute, let's think about this. I wore my mask when I was out. I didn't shake hands with anybody, that kind of thing. I cleaned off my shoes. I washed my hands when I came back in. I sprayed in or wiped down all the knobs that I used to come in the house. We wiped down all the packages, food product, whatever that I brought home. So it's that thing, could be a list, could be an attitude, what have you. It's that thing that helps me stay in a calmer state than not. Okay. So mindfulness, okay, and be aware there is a state of awareness that is pre-awareness. Okay, a lot of times you got to be careful about pre-awareness because that's also where anxiety can exist and go unnoticed by us until it becomes problematic. So you do want to be checking yourself. Metacognition for those real psych geeks out there, being aware that you're aware, knowing that you know, that kind of thing. Okay, so that's enough on mindfulness. The next part of My Simple Guide is support network. Now, when I ask most people to tell me about their support network, they immediately think of people. And it is in part that. And it may be all that for you. But I think it is also people, place, and thing. Okay. I want you to think back to stereotypical childhood stories. Child has a favorite blanket, favorite binky, favorite this, favorite whatever. Okay. Now you see the monkey over here. Okay. That's uh that's a manifestation of the child self that's still in me. I can't lie to you, tell you I've had that since childhood. Okay. But what I can tell you in all honesty, behind the camera here is a stuffed blue rabbit that has a built-in music box. Back in the day, my generation, I haven't seen one, anytime recent, but back in the day, they would make stuffed animals with music boxes so you go to sleep. Now, my mother tells me I've had that since I was 2 years old. Clearly, that's got a positive bond for me. That's got a positive psycho-emotional contribution to my life because it's survived. I've lost my Little League shirt, which she didn't want to give me because she knew I'd lose it. I'm sorry, Mom. Um, I don't know that I have many other things from my childhood. Besides the blue rabbit, I've got a picture of Jesus and a cross with Jesus on it from the Bible school days. Clearly, those things are important to me. Clearly, those things were support. Okay, during a childhood that was otherwise a little dysfunctional and rough, those things must have helped me get through somehow. As well did teachers, but we'll come back to people in a minute. Okay. So a support network could be things or a thing. Okay. Support network can also be a place. Okay. A lot of people have their favorite places. Now, me, I'm always jonesing or fantasizing about the beach. For some reason, the fantasy of the beach is very relaxing. The reality of the beach is nice, but do all those other people really have to be there on my beach? Okay. It kind of takes away. No. But you know what I mean. Until I hit the lottery, I suppose I got to share with those people. But for me, the beach is sort of serene. I like the smells, the sounds, the ocean smells and sounds. Okay, you know, I like just dipping my feet in, not sound like weird old man or anything, but I'm not going out there swimming. I'm not as strong as I used to be. Anyway, so that for me, even mentally, even visually, I can take myself there, sort of in a meditation kind of thing, and I can bring down my anxieties. You know what I mean? Um, I watch house shows about beach front this and beach house that. It just takes me away. It allows my anxieties to come down. Okay. Now, you don't want to be dismissive or completely ignore things that you need to take care of, addressing stressors, but there are moments where it's okay to simply allow yourself to be distracted so that the anxiety levels can come down. And so that instead of emotionally thinking, you can start to rationally think. And when you return to address those stressors, you have a more logical, more reasonable, potentially more successful solution. So it could be a place. It could be your favorite room in a house. Stereotypically speaking, a lot of people talk about man caves and that kind of thing. Um, yeah, I don't have one. This is a nook in the bedroom. And quite frankly, waist level, there's a hole in the wall going into the attic. So I'm fighting for space with the mice. Okay. Everybody else got that space. However, whatever. Sometimes the least attractive space is the safest, quietest, because no one wants it. I'm left to my own devices. Okay. Um, could be your backyard. Maybe you have a flower garden, maybe you like that. So a place. Okay. So things, place, and people, right? People make up the support network for sure. Okay. And relationships are huge. Guys, if you take nothing else away from these training videos, relationships, and not to be corny, with yourself and with others are the most crucial thing, in my opinion, for therapeutic success. Okay. Anyway, so people within the support network, I've come up with four types or four archetypes. Okay. I call them supporters, stabilizers, distractors, and motivators. Now, really, motivators should be with those other two because I feel like those three are sort of on a continuum. But I like that I accidentally, admittedly, put distractors in there because it disrupts that continuum. Just like distractors disrupt the continuation of your stress. Okay, we'll get to them in a minute. So the four archetypes: supporters, stabilizers, distractors, and motivators. Supporters are those people who are going to give you a sympathetic ear. They're going to agree with you, or rather I should say, they're not going to disagree with anything you say. They'll placate you. They may not really believe you. They may not really agree with you, but they're going to give you that feeling they do. Okay. They're your pleasers, and that's fine. We all need those. Okay. It feels good We didn't really come to them for a solution. We don't want them to tell us what part is our responsibility or our fault or what have you. You know, that's not what we're there for. When we go to them, we just want someone to listen. Okay, so that's a supporter. A stabilizer is a supporter that will listen, give you some sympathy, definitely empathy. Sympathy, you know, feel what you feel, they understand because they've been in your shoes for. Empathy means they understand, but they don't necessarily feel the same thing, at least not at this time, nor have they had experience, whatever. Stabilizer will give you some attention, will give you some affirmation, but a stabilizer is going to reach a point where they're like, all right, knock it off. They'll snap you out of it. They're going to start to bring in some evidence-based thinking. And even if they don't have evidence, they'll bring in some questions that challenge what you're thinking, okay? So they're going to disrupt, kind of like the distractors do in a fun way, but they're going to disrupt your wallowing in that stress, okay? They're not going to have a plan for you like the motivators will, and we'll talk about that in a second, but they'll try and put a halt to the nonsense. Because let's be honest, folks, if all we do is spin our wheels in the problematic range, it's going to get to the next level. Before we can solve it, though, we need to stop the negativity. Again, stopping that emotionality, bring that down so we can start to think rationally. So those are your stabilizers. Somewhat supportive, but willing to snap you out of it, okay, however they got to do that, within the law, okay? So then there's the distractors. Those are just your feel-good people. Those are your drinking buddies, your gossip buddies, the people you watch that show with, you go to the game with, you book review with, whatever. The people, you know, they're not the people that want to hear it. Let's not talk about that. Let's talk about anything else but that. Let's go do something. They don't care. I mean, they care, but they don't care, okay? They care, but they don't care enough to jump in that cesspool, wallowing in that anxiety with you, okay? They just want you to knock it off, okay? Don't bring me down, man. Let's go chill or whatever, okay? So those are your distractors. And they disrupt that continuum from the supporters to the stabilizers to the motivators, just like they disrupt the continuation of your anxiety cycle, okay? The motivators, returning to that tail end of our continuum, okay, will not be put off forever by the distractors. The motivators are the supporters plus stabilizers, plus they're going to have a plan for you, work a plan with you. They're going to compel you to come up with a solution. These are your solution-oriented people. These are your people that aren't going to take no for an answer. These are going to be the people who say, did you do what you're supposed to do? Did you do what you said you were going to do? Why are you still whining about that? We talked about this already. Did you do blah, 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 okay? Now, they may love you. They may care about you, but they're not going to take your nonsense, okay? Look, I'll listen to you 2 or 3 times as a motivator. After that, I've done told you. I've given you my opinion. I think I know what you need to do. We've talked. I think you know what you need to do, whatever, okay? Motivators have a limit. And if you don't start enacting that plan, they're done with you. Now, again, they still may love you, but they're done with that topic with you, okay? So motivators and plans leads really nicely into the third part of my simple guide. Remember, mindfulness, support network, and goals. What are goals but plans? Plans with action steps, okay? What are action steps? Those things I need to do to accomplish and achieve goals, okay? So goals should be long-term and short-term. Your short-term goals could be considered the action steps for long-term goals, but every short-term goal, even those contributing to long-term, have their own little action steps. So, for example, a long-term goal that I have when this pandemic is over is I'm going to go sit in Pizza Hut, actually sit in the restaurant, which I haven't done in a long time anyway, and I'm just going to order a bunch of food. I love the smells. I like the restaurant. I'm not a fancy guy. I'm kind of easy to please. That's a long-term goal. But what I have to do, the goals and action steps I have to do to achieve that could very well be very practical. Well, I've got to stay healthy. Well, what's that mean? I've got to wash my hands. I've got to, all those mitigating steps. Dr. Fauci's favorite word, right? Mitigating. Okay, so that's a long-term goal, and that keeps me a little focused on that. That in itself, having a goal and having that future pacing focus can help me buffer against wallowing in some of the anxieties. However, it's not going to hold it off forever, because even though research says delayed gratification is much more rewarding than immediate gratification, do you want your lottery winnings now or later? Are you freaking kidding me? All right, let's be honest. Whatever. Sometimes research misses the mark. Sometimes it's good. Okay. Anyway, that long-term goal is just that, a long ways off. I need other short-term goals to keep myself mentally healthy. Brad Pitt said it in Z, okay? Now, I'm not going to tell you whether I'm a fan of Brad Pitt or a fan of zombies, but I love the line. He said, moving is living. Same thing mentally, okay? Thinking, moving, constantly having a plan, having a structure, having a routine. Those can be short-term goals. For today, the joy of my life, I'm going to, notice I was getting ready to say I have to, I'm going to mow the lawn, okay? It's going to be a beautiful day in the 70s. I'm going to mow the lawn. Days before this have been rainy. Days after this is going to be rainy. I'm going to have anxiety. I have anxiety thinking about, well, what if I don't mow the lawn? Well, then that means that stuff's going to grow and it's going to be harder to mow and the mower's going to lug down, blah, blah, blah. So as I mow, as much as I don't really enjoy it, I do get a chance to process my own thoughts, and not to be pushing religion out there, but I tell you what, I commune with God more when I mow than most other times. But as I get closer to finishing that task, that short-term goal, my anxiety lessens. More to the story there, folks. Accomplishment, achievement, goal completion lessens anxiety, can lessen anxiety, okay? Nothing's ever guaranteed, but everything has potential. Another goal could be, I'm going to spend time with my family, okay? I'm going to do something other than sit on the couch. Because again, what did Brad Pitt say? Moving is living. Stagnating on that couch, and let me tell you people, I used to be gold medal level couch potato. I've had enough of the couch. This pandemic is ruining the joy of being lazy for me, okay? But anyway, I'm going to come up with some other goals for the family. I don't think I want to go out anymore today. I went out yesterday. There's a lot more people out there. Luckily, everybody's wearing masks. But again, I'm going to set some goals. I'm going to set some goals throughout the weekend, throughout the rest of the week, blah, blah, blah. Okay? So there you have it. My simple guide. Mindfulness, support network, and goals. Now, clearly, this video, all three videos, are not the end all to be all, but I've tried to simplify how to approach stress and anxiety as it goes through the processes of being typical for you, being problematic for you, being traumatic. I've tried to simplify that process for you, okay? You have any questions, comments, please send them to me. You can post them right there on the YouTube channel or LinkedIn or Facebook, wherever you're seeing this at. If you have any suggestions for future series, please let me know. I'd be more than interested to try and do some research and share what I think I know with you. I hope you've enjoyed the series. I appreciate you watching. Bye-bye.